and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Yes, welcome back. This is Sports and Sorts, episode 161. It's a Saturday morning, so you're going to get some probably things that shouldn't happen during this show because that's what happens every Saturday morning. But other than that, we go live on YouTube every Monday and Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you like our videos, be sure to give them a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. And you can also find Sports and Sorts anywhere podcasts are played, or visit our website at www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. I am one of your hosts. My name is Shane Moore.
And I'm the Bryan Man.
And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Shane and the Bryan Man, Twitter at Shane and Bryan Man, where we post, some other videos like all our videos and other newsworthy topics. And lastly, if you comment, we will put it up on the show. Today we got some stuff to talk about. We got the little thing called the Super Bowl that's going to be coming up. We also have, what else do we have? Oh, Porzingis was traded to Dallas.
Kristaps.
That's a pretty big deal. I'm not sure if it's a pretty big deal for the Knicks or Dallas or both, but we will discuss that as well. And I've also revisited a couple of movies. I've revisited some movies. One movie in particular. I've revisited Iron Man 2 to see if I could give it a fair shake. I also watched a couple of movies that I had not seen in the theater, mainly because I was protesting because I thought they were going to be extremely bad. One was the Power Rangers movie that came out just a couple of years ago. I think it was 2017. And then I also watched the movie that I said I would never watch it in the theater, and that is Transformers: The Last Knight, because I was so incredibly ticked off at this franchise after their last rendition, their first one with Mark Wahlberg. So mad at it. I almost walked out of the theater. And then I was like, you know what? It's free. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm going to give it a shot. And I watched it. And I'll give you my little 2 cents of that at the end of the movie, too, at the end of the show as well. So, but first thing that we got to talk about today, obviously, is the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to seeing the commercials. I'm sure that's going to be part of our show on Monday, is us talking about all the commercials and what we liked and what we didn't like. I have a feeling this year's commercials, they are not going to push the envelope as much as we have seen in past, particularly with either GoDaddy or just doing some things that are kind of crazy. They are really trying to tone down a lot of risque stuff that happens. And is that good? Is it bad? I'm not really sure, but we'll find out after we watch all the Super Bowl commercials. I mean, what do you guys think, if anybody that's watching or anybody at all, what do you think about the Super Bowl commercials? Do you think that they are going to tone them down? Do you like the fact that they're toning them down so more of the younger audience can watch? I mean, I don't think a lot of parents care that much about a lot of the commercials, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. Other than that, we got the Patriots versus the Rams in the Super Bowl. Just as the Bryan Man predicted at the beginning of the year, I said Rams versus Steelers. You said Rams versus Patriots. It came true. We will give you a little applause. I think that is although it's not an unlikely choice, but I do think that it wasn't the number one choice. I think there was a lot of other teams, a lot of other players thought that, the Eagles might go back, or, there was a lot of teams in the NFC that had the potential, even the Saints, they thought the Saints might get back there. There is There is a lot of other options out there, and you picked the right one. So, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to give you double it up on it. Whoa!
Thank you.
Congratulations. That was a great choice.
A very fitting end to our overall head-to-head kind of competition. I was
seriously.
very dominant throughout the regular season, and, unfortunately, this is not
I had a decent year. I picking. I mean, I picked, I think, like 58%. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you picked over 75% of the games.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, we're not picking against spreads or anything, so I don't feel like it's a monumental accomplishment.
I think next year. Next year we'll up it.
Yeah.
We'll do the spreads.
Yeah, and then we'll see how good I really am.
Yeah. You come crashing back to earth.
I'm not much of a Vegas guy, so gambling is not much my thing.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you're good at it, because you don't have the personal attachment.
Yeah, there's nothing on the line for me.
So there you go.
Bragging rights and a beer or something.
Should we make some sort of trophy that you can hang up?
No.
And
No, absolutely not.
All right, so we got the Patriots versus the Rams. I mean, I can start off. Like I'm nervous about the rest that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have gotten because
and the preparation.
All the preparation. I mean that's what I mean. They have a 2-week time frame, and the last time they did that, they had a 2-week time frame. They absolutely stomped the Chargers. They absolutely stomped the more talented Chargers. Mm-hmm. So that makes me nervous. And not only, there's a lot of arguments that are out there for Tom Brady being the GOAT. And I am one of the first people to champion the fact that he is not. I don't think he's the greatest player of all time. I think that title goes to Jerry Rice. I don't think he is the greatest quarterback of all time. I hold people like Montana, even Elway, ahead of Tom Brady. But I do think he is in the conversation. Absolutely. I think you can make an argument either way. I do think that he is one of the greatest preparers of being able to game plan and in-game plan. While he's in the game, he is one of the best at reading defenses and figuring out to go to play 2 or play B or C to change it to give themselves the best opportunity to not fail, which means moving backwards. They rarely ever go backwards. They are always going forward or at least holding the line of scrimmage. That is just what they do. And they rarely beat themselves.
Right.
So this time off makes me extremely nervous for the Rams, I'm even kind of sort of wearing a little bit of their colors right now. I don't have the yellow, but, whatever.
I'm wearing black.
I can't imagine why. So, I mean, you have this team, with Tom Brady. He's incredibly smart, throws a great ball, and he has an amazing system in place. All those things make me very worried going in. Now, the Rams' offense is great, though. They are great. I have been calling them the greatest show, period. Not just on turf, not on grass. They are just the greatest show, period. They have put up tons of numbers, tons of touchdowns, tons of offensive numbers just in general. The problem is their defense. Their defense, particularly the run defense, and I've been kind of talking about this over the last several weeks, is a sieve. Now, I'm fine with them being a sieve. Absolutely. In this game, I am absolutely fine with them being a sieve because what they need to do is they need to make sure, and Ndamukong Suh, and they need to sure that Aaron Donald, when they have the when Brady steps back, they need to whack him. Every single time. They need to get a hand on him, whack him, push him to the ground, tackle him, whatever they can to make him a little nervous. Because the only way that they are going to actually win this game is, one, they are going to have to outscore the Pats. So they are going to have to, I don't care. You let the Patriots score on defense, not really let them score, but you are just trying to do your best to put a hurt on Tom Brady so that in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter, he has a little bit of, he hears the footsteps a little bit. That's the only way that you can do this. That's the only way. And then you have to keep up with him. Your offense has to keep up with the Patriots offense, because the Patriots offense is going to score. They're going to score a lot of points in this game. They are going to score at least 28 points in this game. You need to keep up, and you need to outscore this team. You have the defense to be able to do that. You have the offense to be able to do that. Now it's just a matter if they can make this game plan work and keep Brady uncomfortable in the pocket. And if they can do that, they have a chance.
Yeah, they have a chance.
There's two teams. Technically three. I mean, if you want to call it that way, that have done this to Brady. The Giants, and the Eagles.
And the Eagles, yeah. All these NFC East teams.
The teams that actually were able to get to Brady and make him uncomfortable.
The good news for the Rams is on defense they have two absolute game wreckers. Sue and Aaron Donald can wreak havoc. There isn't really any, like, on the Patriots defensive side of the ball, you can't really say that they have a guy or even two like that. Not on the defensive side. I mean, on the offensive side, Julian Edelman can just paper cut you to death down the field. But what gives me a sliver of hope for the Rams here is the fact that they have these potential game-wrecking players. This is the kind of game, and those guys are superstars. That is dictated not only by their production, and Ndamukong Suh is probably a future Hall of Famer, It's also dictated by the fact that they make a ton of money. Between these two guys, there's a lot of guaranteed money in their pockets. And this is the kind of game where you need your game wreckers and your game changers and your impact players to step up. Now, we know when we look at the Rams, we always talk about offense because there's Gurley and there's Goff and there's Woods and there's Cooks and there's, one after another. They've got one after C.J. Anderson. There's one offensive weapon after another. But the Rams, while I believe they are going to give up a lot of points in this game, I actually believe very much like the Eagles did last year, this could come down to a Brandon Graham kind of play. Somebody gets to Brady, strip sack, changes the course of the game, and maybe the Rams pull off a stunner. And as you've started to, again, when you have 2 weeks, not only do you, break down these teams to their smallest details, but you also start to overthink things too. And you start to, and then people I think if you've seen over the course of the last couple of weeks, I don't know what the line is on the game right now, but I think Vegas has. I'm sure I know the Patriots are favorites.
Favored by 2.5.
2.5, right? So, but there is a feeling like I have watched a lot of shows this week, and I've heard a lot of radio guys, and the overwhelming feeling is that the Patriots are going to win this game. And in fact, in the last couple days, I've even started to hear some guys say that they think the Patriots are going to win this game rather easily, which is possible. My only thing against that is the Patriots have never won a Super Bowl game easily. Never. Never. They've been in 8 of them. They've all been close. They've all been very, very close games. The Patriots don't blow teams out. No. Not in the Super Bowl, anyway. But you know what's funny? You think about this. My brother and I have been talking about this. Like, we were talking about it yesterday, and I think we talked about it last week too.
Yeah.
What this Patriots team has done you are talking about now almost 20 years. The only other team to have done anything like this at all is the San Antonio Spurs. The only other team with this kind of longevity, the same amount of championships, a similar postseason
the Yankees
run.
did it, but that was back in the 60s and 50s, 60s.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like in the modern era, because in the modern era, sports dynasties are not a thing anymore. There's too many levels of playoffs.
Bulls, they did it for a long time.
But this is 20 years. You're talking about 2 solid decades of championship contention. And here's the thing, like, the parallels between these teams are actually pretty amazing outside of the scandal. Because the Spurs are like a model organization and they do everything by the letter of the law, and they run themselves very, very well.
I don't know. I heard Tim Duncan was deflating balls to, he liked to be able to, he had small hands. So he wanted to be able to pump.
Okay. But the parallels are amazing. 5 championships for both of these teams, and they were never like, they were never like only in one time period. Like these championships for both of these teams have been very spread out. In fact, the Patriots went on like a 10-year run where they didn't win. And then they won a couple again.
Yep.
And they've been to now 3 straight Super Bowls again. But it's kind of funny. It started to remind me of, it was so weird. There was a movie last year that I know you love that came out.
Uh-oh.
And there was a quote from this movie. And it's so much, it felt like the character in this movie was talking to me specifically. Because as you know, I have claimed for years that I have been doing the Lord's work, that I have been championing against the Patriots and their tyrannical, just horrifying reign of terror and deception and cheating and lies and deceit and all of it. I have been like, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere, I feel like in many ways I am like the face of that resistance, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
And there was this quote, and I'm going to read you the quote, and I know you're going to know the quote very, very, very quickly because it's a movie you love and it just came out.
I don't know.
But it made me think of me and like the struggle and how this is probably all going to turn out. Here's the quote. There cannot be peace without first a great suffering. The greater the suffering, the greater the peace. The end you've always feared is coming. It's coming, and the blood will be on your hands. The fallout of all your good intentions. Do you know the movie?
I'm terrible with quotes. I'm like absolutely horrible with quotes. But then it sounds familiar.
But the name of the movie was actually kind of it was in the last sentence of the quote. The fallout of all your good intentions.
I don't know. I don't
Mission Impossible.
Oh, is that what it's from? I did love that movie. But I've only seen it once. So
that's the Solomon Lane quote, who I thought was actually a really great evil bad guy character.
So yeah, so I did love that movie, but I've only seen it once, so I don't remember.
But if you break down the quote, I swear to God, like I was watching this clip the other day and I was like, oh my God, I feel like he's talking to me and I feel like he's talking about the Patriots. There cannot be peace without first a great suffering. So in order for us to get past this Patriots dynasty, we've had to have gone through this long suffering, nearly 20 years of Brady and Belichick and Brady nonstop in our faces. And there was a point when you thought it was over, and then it wasn't because the Patriots came back and won 2 more. And then, of course, the end you've always feared is coming. And the end that I have always feared, as I think I have said to you before, and this is why I'm wearing my Yankees hat today too, is I have always feared that Tom Brady, who represents to me everything bad in sports,
he's going to have more rings than Jeter and
is going to have more rings than Derek Jeter. And Derek Jeter and guys like Mariano, not just great Yankees, but we know Jeter gives gift baskets to his whores, but Mariano, if you think about a guy like Mariano Rivera, who went into the Hall of Fame unanimously, the first guy ever, you think about that. Tom Brady, after tomorrow, could have more rings than a guy like Mariano Rivera, and I don't even believe I need to argue that that's just wrong. It just feels wrong. And then the blood will be on your hands, the fallout of all your good intentions. And that's where I feel like Solomon Lane is saying, this is your fault. My fault for speaking out against this team for so many years and I have been, you've seen it. I have been relentless. Yeah. I have gone after this team at every turn. I have unearthed and turned over every rock, looked in every nook and cranny to pull anything that I could to speak out against this team. And I feel like it was never done out of malice. It was done. I've always said I was doing the Lord's work. The fallout.
Doing the Lord's work with.
If Patriots fans were pizzas, they'd be cocksucker supremes. Okay, so I mean, it hasn't always been like PG, but anytime Tom Brady walks on the field, you are well within your right to throw a big floppy on that field. But there it is, though, the fallout of all my good intentions. Maybe we should get into our predictions.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, if I'm going to go, we're going to go give our last thoughts on this. And if I'm going to dive deep in here and figure out like what basically needs to happen here, I'm going to pick the Rams to win. I said the Patriots would not win the Super Bowl this year. I'm sticking with that because I honestly don't think they have as good of a team. Do they have a better system? Probably. Do they have a better quarterback? Yes. Do they have a better head coach? Probably. I would say he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the greatest. You could definitely make an argument for that. But what I am going to say is I am going to believe that this newer, younger system with these newer, younger players are going to outlast the old veterans of the Patriots and the system of the Patriots. I'm going to say that Sean McVay has actually come up with a somewhat of a scheme. He's come up with a team. He's got the two horses, Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald, to lead the charge on defense to make Brady uncomfortable because that is the way to beat Brady in the big game. Now, this is the problem. The Rams cannot worry about the Patriots scoring, particularly in the first 2 to 2.5 quarters. They can't worry about them scoring. They just need to keep up. They need to be within 3 points or so and wait for the Patriots to make mistakes. Wait for Brady to get some happy feet and make a mistake. Wait for them to make a mistake. That's what this is. That's how you're going to beat them. Is if they don't make mistakes, you're going to lose. If they do make mistakes, you're going to win because that's the only way that this is going to happen. So I am going to predict that the Rams come out on top with a score of 34-30, and they hold Brady, with Brady possibly doing what he did last year, which is throwing an important pick late or getting a fumble in a sack, something along the lines late, because he just doesn't have the time to make those throws, and he gets a little antsy, rushes things a little bit, makes a mistake. And even the GOAT, all those Massachusetts fans that are out there, all the New England fans, they call him the GOAT. Even the GOAT is prone to make some mistakes when he is pressured. So I'm going to say that the Rams win 34-30 in a very good, very fun, very nerve-wracking Super Bowl game.
Yeah. The funny thing about the Solomon Lane quote, the end you've always feared is coming, is that in that movie, as is always the case in a Mission Impossible movie, Tom Cruise wins.
That's right, Tom Cruise wins.
Because there's no beating Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, when it comes to Mission Impossible movies, is simply infallible.
Jack Reacher.
And you know what? At the beginning of this season, I made this prediction for this Super Bowl. I said Rams Patriots, and I picked the Rams at that time. Mm-hmm. And I will stick by that pick. This is not the time to go back on that kind of, that was a bold prediction. Not really. It was a prediction at the beginning of the season. And I am going to stick with it. I'm going to stick by that pick. Because you know what? I mean...
What's the score? What do you got?
31-28.
Whoa, that's really close.
It seems easy now to jump on the Patriots wagon because
with
everybody else is
missing the field goal, because might as well with all the missed field goals that happened this year.
I actually think it's going to be the other way around. I think it's going to be more along the lines of the game is tied and Greg the leg.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can say whatever you want about the fact that the outcome of that Saints-Rams game should not have happened, but ultimately Greg the leg did put a 57-yarder straight through the heart of the Superdome.
Yeah, he did.
And the guy's clutch. That's about as clutch a kick as you can get. This kicking surface does favor him because it's Atlanta, so it's indoors. It's on a dome. It's on the track. If you've got a big leg like he does, he could hit a monstrous field goal at the end that could really crush the Patriots' dreams. And you know what? Maybe the end that I always feared is not coming. Maybe this is going to end the way I thought it would end at the very beginning of this season. If you go back 5-6 months ago when I made this prediction, maybe that's how it will play out.
And we just jinxed the Rams.
You know what though? Have we? Because every other I remember last year when we were doing the same thing, and I picked the Patriots to win and blow the Eagles out. Mm-hmm. And what happened? Mm-hmm. And I've picked the Patriots all postseason. Every matchup, obviously. They're here.
And then what comes Monday is what we've learned is to never pick against the Patriots.
Maybe. As I'm sipping my dollar medium iced coffee. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. They're so cheap now, Dunkin' Donuts. Man, there goes that sponsorship. Not only did they not give you the free one anymore. It used
winning
to be
a Super Bowl
size. Now it's a medium iced coffee for $1. Yeah. Give me a break. Why not make it like 6 cents for the amount of Super Bowls that these clowns will have won if you, you know. Yeah. Anyways, real quick, I know we have to sign off pretty soon. Yeah. I did just want to talk very quickly before we get into any NBA stuff.
What are we doing? Go ahead.
I just speaking of the Tom Brady thing, I just really wanted to applaud the Pittsburgh producer who was fired last week for putting up the known cheater caption under Tom Brady's name when this local CBS Pittsburgh affiliate was showing footage of him doing interviews for Super Bowl week. And dead serious here. How can you actually fire that guy? First of all, you can say whatever you want about slander or any of that. But was that or was that not fact? Is Tom Brady not a known cheater?
He is.
It's actually factual. How could you fire him? Look, I'm all about if you wanna give the guy a slap on the wrist, a verbal warning, maybe suspend him for a couple of weeks without pay. Mm-hmm. But to fire him, if that guy has not lawyered up, that's on him.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
I would have called a lawyer so fast. I would have been on the phone with my lawyer faster than you could spell Deflategate.
So, moving on to something that's also related to this. I don't know if you've actually heard this guy talk. I don't know who this guy is. I just know that it's him talking about the New England Patriots dynasty. And it is hilarious. So I'm going to just play a little short amount of this, and then I'll put the description. I'll put it in the description, or I'll tag it onto our Facebook page so that you guys can watch the whole thing later. But it is absolutely hysterical. It's about 3 minutes long, so I'll play for about a minute.
Hello, America. So it's official. The LA Rams and the New England Patriots will be going to Super Bowl 53. The LA Rams are super athletic. I mean, got all pros all over the field. Just a bunch of great athletes. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks. Then on the defensive side of the ball, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Aqib Talib. They've got all these magnificent athletes on the Rams. And the Patriots have Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, who's like 5'4", 190 pounds, and a bunch of other players that nobody knows. How in the world has Tom Brady gone to 9 Super Bowls? Have you ever seen his NFL combine? It's a joke. He runs a 5 flat in the 40, and I'm talking 5 minutes. He's the slowest human being I have ever seen in my life. My grandpa can run that fast, and he's had 2 hip surgeries. I've never seen somebody that is so unathletic and be so good at a sport. Like, if you put him in a line and kids were picking people to play kickball, nobody would pick Tom Brady.
That's great.
Oh, it just goes and goes and goes.
That's
for
funny.
Good 3 minutes. He is absolutely hysterical.
Is this a video like on YouTube or is this audio?
I found it on Facebook. So okay. I will tag you, and I will find a version to bring over to Twitter. So
I'm picturing like a 290-pound hillbilly.
No. He looks like he's in good shape. I think he's a Miami fan.
Oh, is he really?
He's wearing the teal. He's wearing the teal hat. So, but it's backwards. It's backwards. So
okay.
So yeah, I mean, you could
would be picked last out of everybody. I'm telling you right now, Brady and Belichick have sold their soul to the devil. That is the only way that these Patriots have been to 9 Super Bowls. If you look at the roster of every Patriots team that is with Tom Brady, you don't know anybody except the time Randy Moss was on the team. Tom Brady is literally built like Taylor Swift. If you put Tom Brady and Taylor Swift in a picture together, like this, they look identical. Except Tom Brady's got better hair. He doesn't get dumped by boyfriends as much as Taylor Swift. He's got that supermodel of a wife that's worth $100 billion. The man has never done one thing wrong. He's never in the media about anything bad. Usually, these awesome quarterbacks are in the media about something.
Yeah,
Brett Favre showed his wiener to somebody. Ben Roethlisberger's touched numerous women on the coochie, but not Brady. Brady's out here just wearing his Ugg boots. He's an Ugg boot model.
Well, okay, I disagree with him mightily about the Tom Brady's never done anything.
Yeah. But it's not like he's like scandalous, like he's not a part of any YouTube movements or anything. But like, it's all football related.
Very funny, though.
Oh yeah, there's a minute left, so yeah, you definitely I'll put it on the in the description and all that kind of stuff. It was hilarious, absolutely
entertaining, very entertaining.
I'll tag you in that somehow. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, but. All right, so I want to talk about real quick the Kristaps Porzingis trade. I wanted to get into that, so we will real quick talk about that real quick. We have Kristaps Porzingis goes to Dallas, and the dude has some serious talent, but has never really been healthy long enough to really prove that talent. So. I think it's a smart move for the Knicks to tank this year so that they can hopefully get a top pick. Hopefully have that be maybe Zion Williamson. I think that's who they really want. It's going to be tough because of they have the lottery pick and everything like that. But I think that they're also freeing up a bunch of dollars, which is good for them because obviously I think they want to go and get someone like KD. In the offseason, or maybe a Kyrie or something along those lines. They want to be able to get somebody that has that name, that draw, and hopefully make them a playoff contender for years to come. And as of right now, they got Dennis Smith, who was somebody they passed over in the draft. You've heard, I'm sure, from every talk radio thing here. They got that and some cap space, but I think Dallas, ultimately, if they can figure out a way to keep Porzingis healthy, he's a frail. I mean, he's kind of skinny. He's a tall, lanky, skinny guy who's got a lot of talent. The problem is that basketball is something a lot of people, a lot of younger kids and all that stuff don't realize how physical of a sport basketball is. You have to get down there and be able to bruise with these guys. And if you can't, you're not going to play full seasons. And if you can't play full season, if you keep getting hurt, I'm sorry, your career is going to be over before it started. So I think as of right now, if they with him and Doncic, those two guys, if they can get a third player that's just pretty good, this is a team that could be a perennial contender. Yeah. Maybe not a winner, but they will be a perennial contender, and they could, like the Mavericks of old, eke one out. They could get one. This is a team, and that is
they need to find a Jason Terry kind of guy to complement them.
Exactly.
But yes,
because Doncic is like he's legit. He is good.
Luka, and these guys are best friends. So
and then you have Porzingis, who is when he's healthy, he's proven he's legit.
He's a special player,
but it's just a matter of the health, and that's something that you can never predict. And as for the Knicks, this deal is only good if they can land somebody like KD. If they can get that big fish plus get the pick, that is the only way that this is good. If they can get Zion Williamson and KD, that is the only way this works out well for them. If they don't get those two guys or somebody like those two guys, I'm sorry, you just wasted your Porzingis. He was the next coming of players that was going to take New York to the next level. Mm-hmm. And they just wasted it by only getting Dennis Smith, who, I mean, not bad. But I mean, still, Porzingis was potentially a perennial all-star, a possible MVP type player. And unless KD and Zion or Kyrie or somebody, they land a huge fish plus a top draft pick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's something that, they will regret for a long time. And, as of right now, if you look over the last several years, they have regretted a lot of decisions that they've made. And
Phil Jackson probably being the biggest.
Phil Jackson. I mean, obviously, who knows? I mean, nothing's really righted the ship since then. I mean, they've only gotten worse, and this could be a terrible decision too. So, like, I just think, like, it's going to be a really, really rough situation for them if they do not land at least those two guys. And not much has gone right for them over the last several years. So maybe this is the tipping point, but I don't know.
Yeah, for me, and I'd be hypocritical if I kind of didn't say that I liked this move for both teams, because I said the same thing earlier this year. We were talking about all the moves that the Raiders were making, trading guys like Khalil Mack, trading guys like Amari Cooper, because I see the forest for the trees. I see exactly what the Knicks are trying to do here. Look, we all know Kristaps Porzingis is one of the 5 to 10 most talented players in the league. Again, when he's healthy, when he's right mentally, he's a very dynamic player. Could do a lot of stuff on offense. He's really, really special player. But he's been a pain in the butt for that team. He's been somewhat of a cancer, and he's not been healthy. And you know what? Sometimes if you look at the Knicks and how bad they already are, if you cut ties with a guy like that and you trade him for basically a bucket of chum, you really have set yourself up nicely now for 2 max contracts and possibly the number 1 overall pick if the lottery ball bounces your way. So, my brother and I were talking about this yesterday too, and I liked the phrase that he used with the Knicks here, is that you're swinging for the fences. And I don't mind that kind of mentality.
All eggs, one basket.
I don't mind it, because if it works out for the Knicks, they could have any combination of a guy like Kevin Durant and maybe Kyrie Irving. Maybe Kyrie Irving, maybe a fallback like Kemba Walker. And then you could, if you have that number 1 pick, you're taking Zion. If you have the number 2 pick, you're probably taking RJ Barrett. So, I mean, the Knicks to me, and look, I know the Knicks have been bad, but you know what? That is still the marquee. It's still Broadway. It's still the Mecca. Guy, there are going to be big-time NBA free agents looking for max deals who will want to go to the Big Apple and try and be the saviors for that team and try and turn that team around. And honestly, from the Knicks' perspective, I don't mind it. From the Mavericks' perspective, I effing hate it, because now he's with the, now the Spurs have to deal with him for the foreseeable future, unless he decides not to sign there long term. But his best friend there is Doncic, and Doncic isn't going anywhere. He's going to sign in Dallas. I mean, I think he might test free agency, but I would not be surprised at all if Cuban just throws a ton of money at him and says, look, we want to keep you here with Luka. This could be your home. You guys will be the foundation for us for a potential championship team. We'll get you the Jason Terry guy, and then we're going to go win another one. We'll be competitive in the West again. We will be relevant again. And that worries me as a Spurs fan.
Yeah, it should.
Because,
I mean, I'm also a Rockets fan, so we when they're good, it's not great for us usually. But anyway, I mean, when it comes down to it, if the Knicks take this swing and they actually hit the home run, that'll be great for not only the Knicks, but it'll be great for basketball in general, because now you'll have a good New York Knicks team. If the Lakers can finish the whole Anthony Davis thing, you're going to have great Knicks, great Lakers, and a really, really good to great Celtics team, and that is good for basketball. That is good for the NBA in general, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm hoping that the Knicks can right the ship. I hope that they can figure out a way to get this thing done, because when they're good, and the Lakers are good, and the Celtics are good, and all these big names, it's great for the NBA. It's great for our show. So I am looking forward to all that, and I hope it all transpires. I hope it all comes out and actually works out. So we'll see how that goes on. We'll see how the Super Bowl plays out. We'll see the commercials, all that kind of stuff. We'll check it all out. We'll talk about it on Monday. I wanted to mention real quick on the way out, we have about a minute and a half or so. I revisited a couple of movies. And I wanted to just briefly touch on them. So the movies that I watched this weekend, or not this weekend, over the last week or so, were Power Rangers, Transformers the last night, and Iron Man 2. So Iron Man 2 I revisited. I wanted to watch it because I've always trashed that movie. I wanted to revisit it because I was like, you know what? There was parts that I did like. I liked when, he had the suitcase, dropped it, and, that was kind of a cool scene. But, they do what they do, which is they give you the cool scene in the trailers and stuff like that, and then they take it away by doing something stupid. Kind of making them look secondary and, to his counterpart, the person he's going against. And he didn't look great in that. But I revisited it. Still not good, but it's fun enough. I enjoyed it. There was times that I thought it was kind of fun, but it's just not a great movie. So I'm still in the same boat. I'd probably give it like a 5.5 to 6, probably a 6 out of 10, which is probably higher than I would have given it originally. Transformers: The Last Knight. The acting is terrible. They're forcing jokes like they always do. It's wash, rinse, repeat with this, and it's like they asked Mark Wahlberg to play a parody of himself, and it's hilarious. That is the only redeeming quality of this movie, is that it is unintentionally hilarious. And then, if I give that movie, it'd probably be a 3 out of 10, which I think I gave Transformers, the previous one that he was in, a 1 out of 10, which is the lowest movie I think I've ever rated in my life. And then the Power Rangers movie, it was fun, but corny. Which is what it is. That's what the Power Rangers are. The film was a bit uneven. They were trying to go dark at certain times, and then they would go to stupid, silly, corny. So it was a little uneven, but it was entertaining enough. So I would probably give that a 5.5 to 6 out of 10. All right. That's pretty much it for me. Find me on Twitter, @EinhornSfinkel.
Find me on Twitter at @the_Bri_man.
And Twitter only, damn it. Or Instagram. You can find you on Insta.
All right, yep, I'm there too.
All right, so thank you guys for listening and watching. You can check out this on our website, www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. Anywhere podcasts are played, subscribe. You can find us on YouTube. We go live every Monday and Saturday at 10 a.m., and we talk sports and other sorts of stuff. So we will be back very soon to talk about how the Patriots won the Super Bowl and how bad the Super Bowl halftime performance was, or the national anthem, or, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be primarily Super Bowl related on Monday, barring an Anthony Davis trade. That would be the only thing that could trump anything.
Or somehow the Harper Machado signing.
They're not signing.
That's not going to.
They're not playing for 2019. It's not happening.
All joking aside, they may not. There's no end in sight for either of them. They are both talking to the Padres right now.
I know, that's crazy, right?
What
Padres are coming out and trying to pick one of them. Smart by the Padres.
I'll tell you what. I mean, when it comes the agents, Lozano and Scott Boras, unless something really big happens, unforeseen, those guys are going to come out with egg on their face after this, because they were out there talking about that they wanted both of their clients to not only get deals that exceeded Giancarlo Stanton's, but to blow that out of the water. Bryce Harper was supposed to be a $500 million player at one point. Do you remember that? He may get less than $200 million.
Crazy. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you Monday.
Stay classy, Political.